Hey guys, it's Rich with your Monday Spot and Pagan Perspectives. We have two different questions or topics here today. Well, same topic, but two different type of questions or statements that they would like us to comment on. The first one comes from FTW Biology. I was wondering if you could do a topic on Satanism, basically your opinion and thoughts on it. And the second one comes from Jest Alt Chimera. I think I might be saying that right, I don't know. And they write, what are your thoughts on Satanists, dark pagans, and other left-hand path people, or similar, specifically how they are treated or mistrusted, in the pagan community, and if any of them even belong in the pagan community at all. And they go on to say, for some background on what I mean, I am a left-hand path practitioner, for simplicity's sake, a Satanist, and over the years I've noticed a severe loathing and repulsion at any number of the pagan community over the beliefs and the viewpoints of any kind of left-hand path person, or similar, and or even someone referring to themselves as a Satanist. I've heard any number of pagans say over and over again about how we give the rest of the pagan movement a bad name, and only further now people outside the community to misunderstand what any number of the pagan community religions actually believe. I've also heard people retort that we are actually Christian because we worship the Christian devil, which is actually not correct for a number of Satanists, left-hand path people, and I myself certainly do not. Or that we shouldn't call ourselves Satanists because it's using a negative Christian word, though I raise the point that words like witch, heathen, and pagan are also words with negative connotations as far as Christians are often concerned. Wow. Excuse me. So the first, my opinions on Satanists, since I come from a Christian background, I'm sorry, but it does hold a very negative connotation to me. That I am so sorry. Text message. Let me put this on vibrate. There. Like I was saying, coming from a Christian background, I have a very negative connotation that goes with Satanism, and I've been reading about it, and I realize it does not necessarily mean evil. It's not necessarily a bad thing. With the, how can I say this? The Satanists, as far as I've read, and please correct me if I am wrong, but from what I have read, Satanists actually believe in more of a free way of thinking, the anarchist way of thinking, you know, kind of the screw the rules and we will do what we want because we want to, that type of thing. And from what I was reading on Wikipedia and all that, getting the general gist of it, because I am very, very unversed on Satanism, because it's just never appealed to me because of the negative connotation surrounding it. That's what I've gotten from it. And like I said, please, please, if I offend you, please don't be offended. Please don't dislike this video just because I'm not so well versed on an aspect of your religion, or your path, I'm sorry. For the, what are my thoughts on dark pagans, the left-hand path people, or similar type of paths, blah blah blah. And do they belong in the pagan community at all? Yes, I most certainly believe that they belong in the pagan community, just like, you know, those people in the Westboro Baptist Church belong in the Christian community. And I'm not trying to, oh, how am I going to say something? I'm going to get in trouble anyway I say this. The Westboro Baptists are Christian-ish. I use that term very loosely. But they still fall under that Christian umbrella. Okay. The Satanists I would consider pagans because, yes, they do a lot of the occult practices. They believe in different deities, and their paths are very similar. It's just held to a negative connotation like the Westboro Baptist Church. Not necessarily that Satanists are evil. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, you know, it's one that holds kind of a negative connotation. The people at the Westboro Baptist Church, of course, they have a negative connotation because, well, these people they're screwballs. So, do I believe that they belong in the pagan community? Absolutely. How are they treated or mistrusted? Again, it goes to negative connotations, and that's the main reason why people have that mistreatment or the mistrust, the misplaced trust, that saying that I can't trust somebody because they believe something or their views are anarchist type. And I want to say something further that I found on left-hand path people is they still do a lot of the occult practices, which, you know, makes them very pagan. They also use a lot more of the sexuality in their practice from what I've read. And again, if I'm wrong, please correct me because, well, for one, I don't like to be wrong, and for two, I'd like to be corrected and know for a fact that either I'm wrong or I'm right. So, I found that kind of interesting. And I guess some of the rituals that they perform are sexually based, and so they still worship the body as a temple of sorts. And so therefore, it's very much pagan. You know, again, the negative connotations that, just like this person said, with the words witch, heathen, or pagan, they're negative connotations that a lot of different religions don't respond well to because they've grown up hearing that it's a bad thing. So the way that we can counteract this is, you know, speak up whenever you hear something about it. Case in point, whenever I was at work, one time they were talking about, somebody brought up the issue of pagans, and I turned to him, I said, you know what? Two of my best friends are pagan. One's Wiccan, one's pagan. And you know what? What you're thinking is not actually what happens. So therefore, your views should be altered. You shouldn't think this or that. I am a studier of religions. I did not tell them what my path was because, quite frankly, they don't need to know, and I don't want them looking at me any differently because of that. Since they're probably never going to meet my friends, it's okay. So, you know, I told them, I said, I'm a studier of religions. This is what they believe, not this, and not what you're thinking. So therefore, you know, I set them straight on what it was. Whenever you hear different discussions like that, just speak up. They don't need to know what your religion is. If you're a Satanist and you hear somebody saying something wrong, I'd be like, you know what? You're totally wrong. I've studied this religion. I know what they believe because I was curious about it, or I I just like to learn about different religions. That's totally acceptable to a lot of people. Knowing what other people believe is very acceptable to a lot of people. So therefore, you don't have to tell them what you believe, because they might still hang on to that negative connotation. Just tell them that, well, you believe differently than they do. Not necessarily telling them what your path is, just tell them you believe differently. And also try to set them straight as possible on what actually a Satanist believes. So, with that said, I'm going to let you go. I have a lot of cleaning up to do after the Ren Fair this weekend, and I guess I'll talk to you all next week. Until then, may your ancestors be with you. Bye-bye.